Hey everyone, I wanted to take a little bit of time here to go through the pictures of the 3 Spider-Man Far From Home sets that were revealed today and just share some of my own personal subjective thoughts about them based on the pictures that have been published. There should be no worries about spoilers here because the subject matter that's covered in these sets is mostly the same stuff that we've already seen in the official trailer. Case in point, this is Hydro Man Attack. It comes with 471 pieces and is set to retail for €40, so it should be about $40 US, maybe even 45. This one comes with Hydro Man, Mysterio with his helmet globe thing on, no actual face within there as far as I can tell. MJ, which is a fairly accurate looking version of Zendaya there. And finally, the special version of Peter Parker, who is kind of in between, going between his civilian look and his Spider-Man look, which I think is really, really good. The torso print is nicely detailed, and that headgear piece is something that you'll be able to pull off and use on other heads. So if you want to use that to represent different versions of Spider-Man, it's very easy to do. This is just nicely done. So this depicts the scene where Hydro Man is attacking from within the canals of Venice, and he comes up around Rialto Bridge, and there's a cafe off to one side with a little table that you can flip, and there are some parts that can come off of the bridge fairly easily, and you're able to do a whole little battle scene here. This is, to me, a nice looking small scene. I don't know how the value is going to feel once I actually get this in front of me, if it's going to feel like $40 or $45 worth of stuff, but I think that the structure part of this is pretty nice. Hydro Man himself isn't the greatest looking thing. It's a very difficult thing to try to simulate in Lego form without using 100,000 pieces to do it. So they have the minifigure core to it to get that humanoid, aspect of him, but then they've got the whole tower of water, and I think that will at least be able to spin in one place where you'll be able to rotate it. I don't know, I'm not completely convinced about that version of him, but overall to me the set looks pretty good and definitely has some nice elements, and this would be, I think, easy to kind of take out of the context of this movie and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just use as a little vacation scene on its own. Next up, Molten Man Battle. This one comes with just 294 pieces and should retail for €30 or $30, I believe. I'm going to have to be frank on this one, and I'm sorry that my frank opinions are pretty negative. Right from the start, this Molten Man does not look good to me. We see him in the trailer, he looked really good there. He looked scary, like something you wouldn't want to be anywhere near, but this just looks like I don't know, it looks like a leftover, it looks like a reject. Of course, here it's supposed to be showing the idea that he has splattered the molten material all over the place and maybe has fallen down, and when he got up, some of the things that he sort of melted into and partially melted have stuck to him, so he's got a piece of a car and some girders and a bit of a street sign, street light there and everything. I get that, but still just the whole thing to me looks like a mess, a total mess. I like some of the elements that are on it, and I think the head part is usable, but overall it just doesn't look, it doesn't look desirable to me even as a toy. Maybe it'll look a little bit better in person, but I don't have good feelings about this personally. The figures included here are another Mysterio, again with no Jake Gyllenhaal representing head, as far as I can tell. Maybe they'll include one in the package, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. A generic firefighter, because you got fires and molten stuff. There will probably be some firefighters in the scene there, but maybe not, but it makes sense enough here. And then the black suit version of Spider-Man. I am not a Marvel specialist. I'm not into Marvel stuff. I don't know backgrounds on things. I don't know where this comes from or what it represents, but it is shown in the trailer. From what we see in the trailer, this figure probably should have less silver on it and less gray, more black. But Maybe that was just the lighting in that little bit that we were able to see there. It's a cool looking figure though, just as it's done. And then here is Stark Jet and the Drone Attack, 504 pieces, and it's set to retail for a fairly high looking €70. I hope that's wrong, but the price to part ratio does not look good there. This does have some larger pieces in it. I actually like the look of the jet here. It is a little bit plain in its color scheme. That's intentional. That's how it's going to be designed. You're going to see a very plain color scheme in the movie. But yeah, I like a lot of its design, except for just a little bit of the side of the nose treatment there. Fortunately, this is designed to make good use of the space. Oftentimes, Lego aircraft have some dead space within them, some areas that you can't even use, which is a total waste. Here you can put a bunch of figures in this, and they even seem to have a little bit of armory and a little bit of lab space in there, so that's good. It also opens up in the back to give you a place to put some bombs there. It's either bombs or water. I think that it's supposed to represent bombs, but you can use that in different ways for play beyond the scenarios of the movie, and you can drop those as well. So play value appears to be pretty good here. Efficiency of the build appears to be pretty good. So I think that the design of this is going to work out. And of course, they've got stud shooters. The drones to me look good as well, and I think those will play well. They just give you two of those with identical builds, stud shooters on the sides. They totally make sense to me. It would have been great to get even more of them, but I think just what they've done here looks pretty good. I have high hopes for this one, just so long as it doesn't end up looking really tiny in person. I am a little bit worried about the size and the value, the amount of stuff that you're going to get here for that $70, if that's its actual price. The figures here, oh boy, again, Mysterio. It's that same Mysterio in all three sets. I don't understand that. I'm assuming that they're going to be putting a lot of emphasis, or at least that was the intent, to put a lot of emphasis on him. But this may be a diversion. I mean, they don't even include the face. They include the face in the trailer. So there may have been some misunderstanding, or there may have been some change, I feel, during the development of this set about what Marvel expected to do in terms of their rollout strategy and everything for the story before the release. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, Nick Fury though looks great. It looks absolutely great. Nicely detailed face there. Really captures him. Good detail just all throughout. Very, very nice. Next to him, Happy Hogan. Very, very generic. Very generic. And the face here does not capture the actual actor, in my opinion. It just looks, extraordinarily generic. And I think it's mostly just the face that is the big miss here. I think the rest is fine. And then at the end, the regular version, or the full-on, full-suit version of Spider-Man, going back to the smaller eyes for the MCU here. These are pretty good quality figures in general. I personally prefer the larger eye hole or larger visor sections for Spider-Man representations, but that's just me, a little bit of nostalgia there. Overall, a pretty good looking figure with dual molded legs, with print on the legs as well, and print on the sides of both arms. The make or break point for this set is really going to be the size of that jet. Is it going to be big enough to warrant its price? And that's just it for now. Just 3 sets. This Molten Man, again, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this one. Do you agree that this looks like a mess, or am I being overly critical of it? And also, what do you think about that Spider-Man figure relative to what we saw in the trailers for the MCU depiction of that version of him? Hydro Man attack here. I think that this one is probably going to be the better selling of the 3. I think this will appeal to a lot more people, though the Hydro Man part is probably the weakest part of it. The structure build behind, we don't get a lot of nice looking structure builds for a reasonable price from Lego. Most of the time it's either tiny little builds or really, really expensive and large sets, and this is in between, and I think it'll give a lot of people some nice stuff to look at and to integrate with things outside of the world of Marvel. These sets should be released in April, and I will review them as soon as they are released to the public somewhere that I can actually buy them. In the meantime, I've got a lot more content to bring you, so I'll talk to you again soon.